Hey, what's up? This is Wally, and in this video, I'm going to be covering how anyone can get floods of DMs from high-quality leads on IG and make money online. And basically, this is the new way that consumers buy things. So I'm going to cover that in more detail. Now, as a marketer, business owner, creator, pretty much anyone who wants to make money online nowadays in our capitalistic society, right? You're going to have to always adapt, right? You must always adapt and be ahead of the game, or you're going to be going belly up in no time. There's always like these patterns of consumer behavior, right? And so whenever these consumer behavior things happen, us as marketers and business owners, like we need to be aware of them, right? And so I want to cover some of that in this video today, right? So I'm going to talk about how we can get the floods of DMs, right? But before we talk about that, I want to talk about just in general, like what I think social media marketing looks like in 2024 and kind of like the psychology of consumers, right? So we're gonna go down here. So I want to cover like how consumers actually become buyers on social media in 2024, right? So there are a few different components. I'm going to talk about the stages from left to right, and then I'm going to start breaking down like how your content and how your marketing should play into this in terms of the social media side, right? So the 4 stages are like, number 1, they need to know who you are, right? So this is the first stage. They got to know who you are. And then in the stage number 2, they've got to feel like they're a part of your community, right? That's the second stage. And then right here, they need to feel like they're learning from something from you, right? So they need to feel like they're a student of yours. So the reason that this is important is because now if you have all 3 of these things happening at once, right, this is what actually creates someone to like want to buy from you, right? We call it conversion, but this is the idea of like someone actually wanting to buy from you. So they want to be connected to who you are, right? So they want to feel connected. They want to like you, right? They need to know who you are, your story, different things like that. They need to feel like we're a part of the same tribe or we're a part of the same community. Like you're kind of like me, right? That's the other one. And then the other thing is that they need to feel like they're a student of yours, meaning that they are learning something from you and you're actually providing value to them in a way that's helpful, right? And that can be a variety of different ways of how you provide that value. It could be lead magnets, it could be free courses, it could be your front end offer, right? Like a low ticket paid thing, right? So this is kind of the idea here. And so once we go through these 3 stages, right, and these can happen simultaneously, it doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, right? It doesn't have to be sequential. It can be simultaneous. Then eventually they're going to want to pay a high ticket, right? And then once they pay a high ticket, right, and cross into this last 4 circle, that's when they become stage 4, which I would call an evangelist, right? And so this is when they start like saying, like start talking about how awesome you are to everyone because you have given them both great results and great delivery of those results, right? Meaning that they're happy with your service. So that's kind of the stages that people go through, right? And so the one thing I want to talk about is your content, right? So you as a marketer or you as a business owner, depending on how you want to view yourself, right? I think about it as like creators in general. If you want to make money online in 2024 or beyond, you're making content that basically addresses all of these first 3 circles, right? So I put it right here. These are the 3 components of giving value online. And this is basically what your content should aim to do. So it should be saying, it should be basically addressing who you are, right? Making people feel like they're a part of your community and you're giving them insider information and they feel like you're one of them, right? And then you should be educating them. You should feel like that they are actually learning something from you, right? And so the puzzle piece that I can't exactly tell you exactly the number of videos or pieces of content that you need to make for this to happen, right? But the idea is that once somebody is like kind of gone through these circles, like maybe they watch 2 reels, right? And so now they know who you are, and then they cross over into like, because they now know who you are, now they feel like you're a part of their community. And maybe once they go around this circle 3 times, this circle 3 times, and this represents your content, right? Then maybe they go right to high ticket immediately, right? Or maybe it takes someone, a few times to get to know you, then they feel like they're a part of your community, and then they feel like they're learning from you, and then they come over. So the matrix, or the thing that we're trying to do here, is we're basically just making sure that we create content around these 3 pillars, right? Or these 3 ideas, and that's going to create conversion over time and create the evangelist that we want, right? And the reason that we want evangelists is why? Because somebody that's an evangelist means that they are speaking your praises or talking to other people about how awesome you are, right? Those are going to be your testimonials. Those are going to be the people that like do the best in your programs. And those are going to be the people that help you sell more programs in the future, right? Those are your marketable testimonials. So really important to get that kind of together. So the reason I want to cover this is just I want to cover a little more deeply about like how I think consumers are going to be buying on social, and how your content should relate to that, right? So I hope that was valuable. Now, the reason I bring that up is because that brings me into our how to drive DMs into the chats through social media in just a minute. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next part. Scrolling up right here. So I want to talk about why chat is better than direct response in 2024, right? Or why I think that's important. So this is kind of the two different processes, right? In a very basic idea. So we have your ad to your landing page. This is like your typical like Facebook ad, right? To like a landing page. And this could be a sales page, the book a call, has a VSL on it, whatever, right? The biggest difference or the biggest thing with direct response that you don't see is that you don't really see their face, right? So meaning like the person that you're driving traffic to from your ad to your landing page, like you never actually see who it is. You don't know anything about them, right? You just see a click or a number or whatever, right? Buy or die, right? Meaning that the people that you talk to usually on the phone or the people that are opting in, you may never see them again. So it doesn't really matter if you build a relationship or not, right? Number three, it's kind of hard to optimize, meaning like is it the copy? Is it the landing page? Is it the ad? Is it the caption of the ad? Is it all of it, right? And you're going to spend a lot of money like optimizing and getting this part dialed in, especially, and if you're not actually a copywriter or actually someone who's familiar with direct response, then this is going to cost you quite a bit of money to pay someone to be able to optimize all these things for you too, right? So direct response ended up being a little more expensive here, right? And I find that direct response is like overall really good for making money, but not really good for creating a brand. And so, actually, I have a really close friend who's an internet marketer down in the St. Petersburg area. He is really big into e-com, and so he helps people basically, launch their e-com brands and build them in the 6 and 7 figure brands, right? And one of the things he was telling me is he's like, Wally, like the social funnel and like the chat stuff that you're doing is super awesome, but like I'm such a direct response guy that I can't really see myself doing it, right? And I totally understand that, right? Whenever you go from direct response to like chat or social, it's so much different. But the biggest difference being that like in direct response, they don't ever see your face. But in the chat funnel, right, that we're going to be going over in a second, is like really good for building the brand because people are actually seeing your face, and like it's done through the marketing and lead nurture and less through of the actual just like landing page and sales calls, right? So with the chat funnel, it's really interesting because you can see every single person, right? Like whenever you're chatting with someone on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, you can see their profile, right? And so I think that gives you a strict advantage over direct response because now I can look at your pictures, I can like look at some history, right? I can find out and do some research and find out more about you, which is something I can't do in direct response. Also, I can see the quality of conversations and the ads because of chat funnels as well. A lot of times we're sending an ad to chat like so, right? And because we're doing that, we're actually able to research every profile and we get an idea of if we're getting the right avatar, if we're getting quality leads or not, right? Number two, that I think is it's why chat is better than direct response is that you're building relationships with people on a one-on-one basis, right? You're having a conversation with every single person, and so just like you're building a relationship with them, right? Over time, they may not buy today, right? They may not buy today, and that's okay. They may buy 4 months from now, right? Or 6 months from now after they've seen your content. But that's the key difference between direct response versus chat is that because it is chat, that conversation stays there, right? And so because that conversation stays there, we have to be even more careful of the relationship between you and the prospect or you and the follower in this case, right? Because like that leaves a lasting impression on the brand overall, depending on how you treat those conversations, right? So it's going to be very important to be cognizant of whenever you're doing chat, but also gives you an idea of like how awesome it can be for your business if you do a good job of nurturing these conversations, making sure that they go really well every single time, right? Another thing is that chat is relatively easier to optimize, right? It's all it is a script and a video, right? And that's pretty much it. So that is easier to test and get dialed in versus like having to deal with the landing page, the headline, the video, the copy underneath. There's just like a lot more things that have to go into like setting up a direct response funnel, which is you don't really have to do that in a chat funnel, right? And then I think that this is the biggest point, or why I think chat is better. It's just that like DM conversations have such a deeper personal connection, and that allows you a lot more leverage, like because a lot of people are building relationships and having conversations with people with chat or through social media anyway. And so you're allowed to basically like be in that intimate space with people, which is much different than like direct response, because they're just landing on a landing page and there's not like a person on the other side, right? Cool. Now, the biggest key differences between direct response and chat is like direct response technically is more simple to scale on ads, but not necessarily cheap. There's a guy named Cole Gordon, and he's a guy, he definitely coins this, and this is kind of like what he says in terms of scaling. And I agree. I definitely think a direct response funnel has a lot of benefits in terms of simplicity, but it's not cheap, right? So if you're not at a point now in your business where you can spend, $5,000, $10,000 or $20,000 a month on ads, right? The landing page might not be the right direction for you, right? Versus chat. The reason that most people say that you can't scale in chat is because whenever you start scaling, you get lots of DMs, and usually they don't have the systems in place to actually work with DMs in an efficient way, which is where stuff starts to break down, right? But you're not going to have that problem because you're watching these channels and these videos, and I'm going to be breaking down some of that stuff for you even more, right? So this is why I think chat is better than direct response in 2024. Now, I want to talk about now getting the right leads, right? Because obviously, and the point of this video was for me to show you how to get floods of leads, which I will deliver on right now. So, getting the right leads, really, really simple. All we need to do is we're running a follower ad, right? So getting the right leads. What we want to do here is run a follower ad, right? And so what I mean by a follower ad in this case is basically we're going to have some kind of ad that is scripted in such a way that basically says, hey, if you want more content like this, follow me for more details, right? So we're going to drive followers into our Instagram page, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure to leverage Facebook AI whenever we do this, right? And so not a lot of people know this about targeting on Facebook, but there's actually a way that you can just use no targeting at all and just let the Facebook AI actually do it. And I would highly recommend that in terms of getting the right followers for your page, right? So you're going to get followers, you're going to run IG profile visit ads, right? And that's going to drive traffic to your Instagram page. And then what you'll use is the hot leads framework to get them to DM you, right? And hot being your acronym, HOT, right? So that stands for, the H stands for how many and who, the O stands for outcome, and the T stands for time, right? And so I want to show you some formulas of how you can kind of, put together this statement, right? And so here's the first one. I'm looking for 5 online coaches. I'm looking for 5 more online coaches and course sellers who want to get to 20K per month profit in the next 16 weeks, right? So 5 more online coaches and course sellers. This is the how many, right? And then this is the outcome, 20K per month profit, right? And then next 16 weeks, time, right? Same thing here. So let's go to another example. Let's say that you're in fitness, right? This is a fitness example. I'm looking for 5 more ambitious men who want to get an A-list Hollywood physique in the next 90 days, right? So 5 more ambitious men, A-list Hollywood physique, and next 90 days, right? So this is the H, this is the O, and then this is the T, right? Hot leads. Next one. One more example. So I'm looking for 5 more medical practitioners who want to consistently get 30 to 40 new clients per month in the door in the next 16 weeks, right? So 5 more medical practitioners consistently get 30 to 40 new clients per month in the door next 16 weeks. So this is our H, this is our O, right? And this is our T, time. Cool. And so once we have our HOT framework set up, right, then all we need to do is add a CTA directly. Well, actually, we have 2 options. So here's option number 1 is this one. So you're going to then add on your CTA directly, right? So you say something like, if that's you, DM me the word something and I'll get you all the details. So let me put that together for you real quick, right? So let's say it's the medical practitioners one. So you would say something like, I'm looking for 5 more medical practitioners who want to consistently get 30 to 40 new clients per month in the door in the next 16 weeks, right? If that's you, then DM me the word practice and I'll get you all the details, right? So that's the idea here. And then the option number 2 for the CTA, right, is we can add on a body section and then we can add the CTA. So we can say something like, I'm on a mission to help 100 people this year or 1,000 people this year get big benefit and also big benefit. So I'll fill in the blank for you on this one as well, right? So let's use the medical practitioner one as an example again. So I'm looking for 5 more medical practitioners who want to consistently get 30 to 40 new clients per month in the door in the next 16 weeks, right? And then, you know, I'm on a mission to help 1,000 medical practitioners this year get 30 to 40 new clients in the door and also spend, you know, 3 to 4 less time actually marketing their business so that way they can spend more time with their family, right? DM me practice and get all the details right now if you're interested. So, but you see here, the idea is that you can either go directly for the CTA, right? Or you can add a little bit of a body beforehand and then add your CTA on the end, right? But this is the idea of getting DMs. You'll notice that the CTAs are scripted very, very specifically, okay? So usually I go up the red arrow right here, but I actually put in a secret side bonus lesson for you guys that goes down this green arrow. So let's go this way, right? So this is an extra special bonus on writing CTAs because I know I went over that really quickly. And then CTAs that actually get replies, right? And so I want to tell what I call the black box story. And so before I get into that, let me size this up correctly. Okay, cool. So imagine that you are walking down the street right now, right? In your downtown, whatever city you're in, whatever downtown looks like for you, right? And imagine a homeless guy comes up to you, right? And he's holding this black box, right? But there's not a hole in it. I'm sorry. This lid is on it, right? But you can't really see inside of it. So it's not like he's opening the box like this one is right here, but it's just closed, right? And he says, hey, you know, could you stick your hand in this box? What is the chances that you're actually going to stick your hand inside of the homeless guy's box in scenario 1? Probably not very high, right? Because, you know, he's a homeless guy. He looks kind of sketchy. You don't really know what's in the box, right? It's just this black hole. Like maybe something could bite you in there, right? You have no idea. But then let's repeat the scenario one more time. But instead of the homeless guy just asking you to put your hand in the box, he actually opens it like this right here. Right. So he tips it to you, says he opens up the box and is like, here, and you look inside and you see that there's a $100 bill. And then he closes the box and he says, hey, stick your hand in this box. What's the chances that you're going to do it in scenario 2? Probably much higher, right? Because why? Because you saw what was in the box. Your expectations were set in terms of what was going to happen after you took the action, right? And so the reason I bring this up is because in your call to actions, right, there's 2 things that are really important. You want to be clear on the action that you want taken. So if it's DM me a certain word, we're going to say DM me a specific word, right? If it's comment a specific word, we're going to say comment a specific word. If it's share this post, we're going to say share this post, right? We want to be very clear on the action that you want to take, and it needs to be one specific action, right? And then the second thing, we want to set expectations for what happens next so they're going to know what happens in the box, okay? And so an example of that is in the other CTA just a second ago whenever I said something to the effect of, hey, DM me the word practice and I'll get you all the details, right? So I'm setting expectations for what happens after they DM me the word practice in that statement right there, right? I said, DM me the word practice and I will send you all the details. So I'm communicating what's going to happen once they open the box. So just a little bit of copy exercises right there, but I think that'll help you get more replies on your CTAs. People need to be clear on the actions you want them to take, and you need to be very specific on the ones you want them to take, and they will take, which is awesome. Let's go over here, back to our original programming. So we're going to go here up to this red arrow, back to here. And so I want to cover the next part of the hot leads framework, right? Which is like how to actually like create a simple reel or a story post following this exact framework, right? Because one, I want to show you how to do it, but then, I want to show you what to do. And then now I'm going to show you how to do it in a few different ways as well, right? So I have 3 examples right here. So let's go over example number 1. Right? So I call this the personalized story method, right? But you notice it's a story post. And so right here is the hook, this is the mission. So I don't have a hook on this one. I just said, hey, I'm looking for 5 more. So I'm using my hot framework, right? Using my hot lead framework right here. And then you notice I'll use my body right here. So I'm on a mission to help people. Right? So I'll put body right there. It says, I'm on a mission to help ambitious people accelerate their journey to financial freedom and shield their assets from recessions and unforeseen events. And then I add another body right here. So I call this one like a benefit, and then, CTA. Right. So this is one example of how you can apply what I was talking about before. Right. So you can go the simple version, right, with just the hot statement and the CTA, or you can go for the hot statement plus the body, benefit, and the CTA, right? Definitely works both ways, right? It just depends on your market and how your offer applies to that market, meaning that it might be simple like making money, right? And so making money is pretty straight up, so you can be very simple in the copy. But let's say it's like a wealth building, then it's a little different, right? So super important. Okay, cool. So that was our personalized story example. And the reason I call it the personalized story example is because I'm using a personal photo of the client, right? You can see right here, it's him and his family, and and I'm talking about family and stuff. So it works out really, really well in terms of like synchronicity, right? So cool. There's another one where I call this a simple story example, right? So notice we have some of the same stuff. We have our hot statement, right? We have our body, right? We have our benefit right here is the same. And then we have our CTA, right? And then you notice that the only thing difference between, personalized story 1 and then simple story 2 right here is a hook. So you notice I actually added a hook on the top of this one. So it kind of depends on your style, right? There's not necessarily one that performs better or worse, right? I find that this straight up I'm looking for performs, and then sometimes the hook performs as well, right? On your specific account, you're going to want to test, but I'm just giving you a couple of different ways that you could possibly do this, okay? So personalized story over here, this is the simple story, which is example 2. And then these are like our story post examples, right? And then you can actually take that exact thing and apply it to a reel as well. So we actually had a client do a similar script, right? But he used a reel, he did it in the form of a reel instead of just a simple story post like this, right? And so I'm going to play this for you, and you're going to be able to see what this looks like. All right, here we go. We're going to play it.
Are you a successful entrepreneur? If you are, my team and I are looking to help 5 more ambitious men or women who want to protect, grow, and ensure their wealth 2 times faster than the average person without having to pay taxes, penalties, and fees, and most importantly, without having to save any extra money using my flip system this year. If that's you, then message me the word life right now, and my team and I will get you all the details. If you can message me today, then I can guarantee you'll get one-on-one coaching with this and the most support that you can get. Please note, when you message me the word life right now, it is actually me responding or someone on my team. It is not a bot. I just think it's better that way. Don't you? Talk to you soon.
Cool. Okay, so you guys just saw that example. Awesome. So yeah, like I said, this can be applied a few different ways, but the idea here is that we're obviously getting people to want to message you, right? And so the cool thing is that you can run ads to basically this or this or this, right? And so that is what allows us to get hot burning leads, right? The way that we want to get them. So cool. So I broke down this. Hope that was helpful. Last thing I want to end on is, pretty much this is how you get a flood of high quality leads to DM you on IG, right? You're either going to run ads, you're either going to run, you're going to create reels, you're going to run ads to the reels, you're going to run story ads, you're going to run whatever phase you are in your business, right? If you have a lot of followers, then you can probably do this organically. If you don't have a lot of followers, then you definitely need ads, right? But this is how you get a flood of high quality leads to DM you on IG, right? So number one, I really appreciate you watching this video. It means a ton to me, and I hope that this has been valuable for you in your online journey, especially in this marketing world. It can be really confusing. Definitely use the hot lead framework for yourself, get those DMs, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your success in the comments, right? And I'll see you in the next video. PS, if you're interested in learning more about how these chat funnels can help you, like help your business, right, then make sure to book a call below. I'll include a link in the description so that we can get you all sorted out, right? And if you enjoyed this video, please drop a comment below and let me know what other content you'd like me to talk about, right? Your input is very important to me. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.